how did you like the opening ceremony?
It's always interesting to be here at the opening ceremony because we heard many topics. Let's say I want to underline two, at least the Green Deal and the need to be environmental friendly, how railways are performing better and better, and comparison with the other modes of transport. And I would like to underline 2 points. Commissioner, and some other, Richard Lutz, the CEO of Deutsche Bahn, plus I heard also the CEO of Siemens were referring to Highspeed. As CER, we are promoting and asking to have a master plan of high-speed railways connecting all capitals and major cities of Europe. We hope that ministers and European Parliament will approve and introduce it in the TEN-T. This will completely change long-distance travel in Europe.
Can you tell us what kind of program is waiting for you at the InnoTrans?
First of all, yesterday we have our statutory meetings. As CER, we had a meeting with the Management Committee and our General Assembly. Today we are following the opening, we are visiting some stands. We will organize a meeting with the commissioners, Commissioner Valiant and the CEOs of our main members, to discuss few topics. Ukraine, timetable redesign, the energy problem, as well as the ticketing issue. And then we'll follow on with other meetings with concerning women in rail, staffer, new train drivers, so all the issues that we need to address in our near future.
I would like to also ask you for more information about the yesterday meeting. Can you briefly summarize the content of the meeting? What are the next steps for CER and what topics are you planning to address?
So yesterday we discussed, first of all, intensively the question of energy. What is going on today in the market in Europe. Electricity prices increased dramatically, so in some countries 10 times. So if you can imagine that the electricity is 10% of our cost, more or less, and increased by 10 times in certain businesses will be dramatic. What is going on now that it's cheaper to run a diesel locomotive than an electric locomotive. So what we are pushing and discussing with European institutions, and we wrote to Director Generals and we write to commissioners, that when they look for a solution for electricity price, they need to reflect also about railways. Railways are client number one of electricity in almost all countries, and we are heavily affected by this price increase on electricity. So this is one point. Then we approved 3 position papers on train drivers. So what will be the future of train driving inside Europe? We would like to have a digital train driver license, for instance. We would like, that international travel train drivers should be able to know the language at a certain level, B1 technically speaking, of the country where we are entering. We don't think that English should be the language of train drivers. More, we think they need to know the language of the country where they're entering. We are not traveling for 3,000 kilometers. We are entering new countries, and when you enter, you need to speak to the infrastructure manager of the country, where 90% of the traffic is domestic. So this is why we have this. We are proposing that we want to have more international travel, but train drivers should know the language of them. Then we approved 2 other position papers, one of state aid guidelines. Railways are much supported by state, especially because we have much lower external cost compared to aviation and road. And in order to cover this lower external cost, we need to be compensated. This will be a dossier that we discuss for more than 1 year, but we are seeing that European institutions are realizing that it's more important to support railways than road and aviation. So it will be key, a lot of discussion with other modes of transport, but we are ready to discuss on that. And then the other point is about combined transport and freight and dimension. As you know, by train, you cannot go home. We cannot go to the supermarket with the goods, so we need to have combined transport. But with this combined transport, we have shorter road leg and a longer rail leg. And this should be the business that should be supported. Not a long road led, but a short one. So we need to be combined, we need to be intermodal, multimodal, and the Commission will review the proposed legislative proposal and why we approve all this position paper to be ready for the revision of legislative proposal with our ideas. This is what we did. We did a bit more, but I was short. We received also 2 important visits yesterday. Minister Wissing, where he presented his ideas about how he sees railway reform and railway activities, as well as the CEO of Ukrainian, Alexander Kamishin, the CEO of Ukrainian Railways. They are a partner of CER well before, and let's say CER members did a lot in Ukraine. We transported more than 3.5 million Ukrainian migrants for free in Europe. We moved a lot of goods outside Ukraine and inside Ukraine, and we are still working a lot on that.
What are you planning in the sector of high-speed railway?
So, as I was saying before, we like very much the proposal of the Commission on the Trans-European network. But they are missing one point, having high speed everywhere in Europe. When we are winning the competition with aviation, I can make you a few examples. Rome, Milan, Berlin, Munich, Barcelona, Madrid, Paris, Lyon. These are high-speed lines where most of the people travel by train, then by car and by plane. But our market share is more than 50% in many of these parts. The same should be true also for the rest of Europe. For instance, in Czech Republic, they are thinking about developing high speed between Prague and Brno, and extending from Brno to Vienna and from Prague to Dresden and Berlin. This is another very good example where everybody, as soon as we have this line, everybody will travel more by high speed than by plane or by bus or by road. And we would like to see it everywhere in Europe. We had the opportunity to discuss also with the Czech minister about this. He's very much supportive inside the Council of Ministers, European Council of Ministers, and we hope to succeed. But I think we need to push. We do it now, otherwise the next time will be in 7 years when we can push it to have it in the TEN-T network.